Okay, this is the video for worksheet 8.1, which is prisms. So we only had to do questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if we start off with our cube, it tells us all edges of the cube are of equal length. So we have 5, 5, and 5. So every line here you see is going to be a length of 5 millimeters. Okay, if we look at a cube, it's going to have 6 sides. It's going to have the bottom, the top, the front, the back, and then the left and the right. So it's going to have 6 sides like a dice. Okay, we need to find the surface area, ultimately the surface area and the volume. So to find the surface area, we're going to have to find the area of all 6 sides. And to find the volume, we're going to have to find the area of the base and the height. We already have the height. We would then need to find the area of the base. Okay. So the first one asks for base area. So again, for rectangular prisms, and a cube is a rectangular prism because squares are rectangles. It doesn't matter which 2 bases you pick. So you're going to pick the top or the bottom, the front or the back, or the left or the right. Whichever, just any 2 sides that are opposite each other. So let's pick the bottom and the top. So here's our bottom. Okay. Again, the bottom of the cube is a rectangle. Okay, well, it's really a square, but a square is a rectangle. We know the area for a rectangle is length times width. So we know we have 5 times 5, which is going to give us 25. Okay. And the top, the opposite side of the prism is going to also be the same. So our 2 bases are rectangles. Each of those bases has an area of 25 millimeters squared. So we know 25 plus 25 is going to give us 50. So the area of the top base and the bottom base are 50, added together are 50 millimeters squared. Next, we want to find the lateral area, so that's all the other sides, the area of all the other sides. Well, if we have the top and the bottom, those are the base areas, or the bases, then the lateral faces are going to be the other 4 sides. Okay. All of those sides are going to be 5 by 5. The front's going to be 5 by 5, the left's going to be 5 by 5, and the back will be 5 by 5. So, again, those are all squares, they're all rectangles. They're all 5 by 5. So they're all going to be 25 millimeters squared. So again, we're going to have 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 because there's 4 lateral sides, 4 lateral faces. This doesn't look like 5. Okay, and that's going to be 100 millimeters squared. So the area of the 2 bases added together is 50. The area of the 4 lateral sides added together is 100. So our total area or surface area is 150 millimeters squared. We just simply added the base areas plus the lateral areas to get the total surface area. Okay, there's 6 sides. So the top is 25, bottom is 25. Front's 25, back's 25, left's 25, right's 25. So 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 is 150, or 25 times 6. Okay, then volume is the base area times the height. Again, it's a capital B. It's not the base, it's the base area. So the area of the base we found to be 25, right? The area of the bottom was 5 by 5. That was 25. And the height then is 5 millimeters. So our volume is going to be 25 times 5, which is 125. And the units there are millimeters cubed, because it's really 5 millimeters times 5 millimeters is 25 millimeters squared, and then 25 millimeters squared times 5 millimeters is 125 millimeters cubed. So that's our cube. Second one is the rectangular prism. So again, a cube was a type of rectangular prism. This is a rectangular prism that's not a cube. Okay, so it's a little bit wider. So we're going to have, again, 6 sides, the bottom, the top, the front, the back, the left, and the right. So I'm going to make the base the bottom. You can make the base whichever two opposite sides you want, but for simplicity's sake, I'm going to make it the bottom. We usually think of the base as the bottom. So it's this rectangle down at the bottom of the box. Okay, it's a rectangle, so the area for that rectangle is length times width. So that's 6 by 2, which is 12 inches squared. Okay. But there's the bottom base is 12, and then the top is also the same. Okay, so 12 and 12. So the total base area is going to be 24. The area of the two bases is 24 inches squared. So that's the top and the bottom. Now we have the front, the back, the left, and the right. Unlike the cube, though, the four lateral faces won't all be the same. The front and the back are going to have their own dimensions. The left and the right are going to have different dimensions. So the front and the back, if I kind of erase this, let's change colors too. Okay, so here's the front. It's going to be 6 by 3, and the back is also going to be 6 by 3. So area of the front is a rectangle, length times width. So that's going to be 6 times 3, which is 18 inches squared. But again, there's the front and the back are both 18. The area of the front and the area of the back are both 18, so that's 18 plus 18. Then we've done the top and the bottom, we're 12 and 20, 12 and 12. Front and back, we're 18 and 18. Now we got to do left and the right. Well, the left and the right, okay, are rectangles. It's a rectangle, and it's going to be a height of 3, length of 2. So it's going to be a rectangle's length times width. Okay, so it's going to be 3 by 2, which is 6 inches squared. And again, there's the left and the right. So the left has 6 inches squared. The right has an area of 6 inches squared. So 6 plus 6. If we want to find the total lateral area, we take the front. So the bases were the top and the bottom. They were 12 and 12. And that's where we got the 24 from. Okay, 12 inches squared on the bottom, 12 inches squared on the top. Then the four lateral sides were 18 in the front, 18 in the back, 6 on the right, 6 on the left. So we have 4 lateral faces, 2 are 18, 2 are 6. If we add those together, we get 36 plus 12, which is 48. Okay, so our lateral area is 48 inches squared. Our total area is then going to be those two, the lateral area plus the base area is added together. So there's 6 sides to the rectangular prism. 12 is the top, 12 is the bottom, 18 is the front, 18 is the back, 6 is the right, 6 is the left. We add all 6 of those up, 72. Or we can add the base areas to the total for lateral area, 24 and 48. Last step is volume. Again, volume you want to think of as a swimming pool. Okay, you want to find the area of the base. You want to multiply by the height. So you want to think of an infinitely thin layer at the bottom of the pool in the shape of the prism. So it's a rectangular prism. So imagine a rectangular pool, an infinitely thin layer at the bottom of the pool, which represents the area that covers the whole bottom of the pool. And then if you want to find the volume of the pool, you have to say how much water is in there. How high does the water go? So our bottom of our pool would be 18. It would be 6 times 2. And then your height, how high is it going to go? It's going to go up 3 inches. I'm sorry, our base is 12. All right, our base is 6 by 2. Okay, and then our height is 3, so that's going to be 36 inches cubed. It's cubed because it's three-dimensional. Volume is three-dimensional. 6 inches times 2 inches was 12 inches. 12 inches times 3 inches, 6 inches times 2 inches was 12 inches squared. 12 inches squared times 3 inches is 36 inches cubed. So there's 3 dimensions, so it's cubed. If we, like at the beginning I said we could have picked anything for our base, we could have picked the right and the left. So if we pick the right and the left as our base, okay, then our base area would have been 6, and our height would have been 6. So 6 times 6 would have given us 36. If we would have picked the front and the back of the base, then our base area would have been 18, and the height would have been 2. 18 times 2 is 36. Next is the regular hexagonal prism. So we found the formula for the hexagon. It should be in our notes. So a hexagon is going to have an area of, this area, so the area of our base here. Okay, we said that was 3 root 3 over 2 times a squared. So that's 3 root 3 over 2 times the length of the side, that's 8 squared. So if we put that in our calculator, that should have been 64 divided by 2, 32 times 3, 96. So 96 times the square root of 3. If I can find a calculator. 96 times the square root of 3. We got 166.3. So our area was 166.3 yards squared. That was the base. There are 2 bases. Okay, so 166.3 plus 166.3 gives us 332.6. So again, this is the area of one hexagon, but we have 2 of them. Right, so it's 166.3 plus 166.3 is 332.6. Okay, and then around our hexagon we have 6 rectangles. Okay. We have 6 rectangles. 1, 2, 3. In the back we have 4, 5, 6. There's 6 rectangles. The area for a rectangle is length times width. So this is going to be 8 by 10, right? All these sides are 8, and all these heights are 10. So the area of one of those rectangles is 80 yards squared. Okay, this should be yards squared. And there's 6 of them, so we do 80 times 6, which is 480. 6 times 8 is 48, so 480. So the total lateral area is 480 yards squared. Okay. Which means our total area is the 6 lateral sides, which is 480. The area of the 6 lateral sides is 480. We add that to the base area, the area of the 2 hexagons. So 332.6 plus 480. That should be 812.6 yards. So the surface area is 812.6 yards. So if we were wrapping this with wrapping paper, we would need 812.6 yards, square yards of wrapping paper. That would be a very enormous gift, but yeah, this would be huge. Okay, and then our last part is volume. Okay, the area of volume for a prism is the base area times the height. Our base area was 166.3. Right, this was our base, the area of one base, the area of the bottom. So imagine a hexagon-shaped pool. You got to find the area of the bottom of the pool. We found it to be 166.3. Then we have to figure out how much water is going up. And it's going up 10 yards. Okay, so we're just moving the decimal place over 1. So it's going to be 1,663 yards cubed. 1,663 yards cubed. Got to imagine a thin layer at the bottom of a hexagon-shaped pool. And then you're going up. Right, that's number 3. Okay, number 4 is the regular triangular prism. So this is probably the most difficult one. So our bases to the triangular prism are the triangles. So here's one of the triangles. Here's the second one. Okay, if we draw our triangle out, okay, it's 4 by 4 by 4. So we need to find the base areas. We need to find the area of the triangle. The area formula for a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. We know the base is 4, but then we run into a problem when we're trying to find the height. We don't know what the height is. So we have to draw one in. We have to draw an altitude. Okay, since it's an equilateral triangle, it's going to bisect, meaning cut in half the 4, so you're going to get 2 and 2. It's also going to be perpendicular to the base. So let's call the height x. Since we have right angles, we have right triangles. Since we have right triangles, we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So the 2 legs of this right triangle are x and 2. So we can do x squared plus 2 squared equals, the hypotenuse is 4, so that's 4 squared. So we are using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, that's x squared plus 4 equals 16. We subtract 4 from each side, we get x squared equals 12. If you go rid of the square, we do the square root. And I believe it's 3.46. Square root of 12, 3.46. So we're going to round to 3.5. So the height here is 3.5. So our height is 3.5. Okay, so we can now find the area. So 1/2 times 4 is, well, just not confuse you. 1/2 times 4 times 3.5 is 7. So the area of one triangle is 7 centimeters squared. But there's 2 triangles for 2 bases. So we have two triangles. So our total base area is going to be 7 plus 7. 7 for the first triangle, for the first base, 7 plus for the second base, which is going to give us 14. 14 centimeters squared. If we look at our triangular prism, okay, kind of made one on a sheet of paper. Right, here's our triangle. So we got 2 triangle bases on each side. Okay, and then we have 3 rectangles. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 3 rectangles. The area for a rectangle is length times width. Okay, so here's our rectangle. Okay, remember all these sides are 4. So the rectangles here are 4 by 7. So that's 7 times 4, which is 28 centimeters squared. There are 3 of them, so 28 times 3, which is 84, right? 84. I believe 30 times 3 is 90. 2 times 3 is 6, so 90 minus 6 is 84. So our lateral area is 84 centimeters squared. Total area, okay, is our base areas, our 2 bases added together plus the lateral area. So if we add the 3 rectangles together, that's 28 plus 28 plus 28 plus the 2 bases plus 7 plus 7. That should give us 98. Okay, or we can add our base areas to our lateral area, and we get 98. Again, centimeters squared. Okay, and then the last step is volume. So volume, okay, and for a prism, is the base area times the height. We found the base area to be, right, the area of one of the bases, the area of one of the triangles. So right here, this area is 7 centimeters squared. So 7 centimeters squared. Right? And then our height is 7 centimeters. So the height being the distance from the two bases, from the first base to the second base. So again, in this one, you got to imagine flipping it on its side. So our height is 7 centimeters. So 7 centimeters squared times 7 centimeters is going to give us a volume of 49 centimeters cubed. And that's our triangular prism. So the trick is being able to find the height so you can find the area of the triangle. And we do that by creating an altitude in the triangle and then making a right triangle out of it. So we get 2 squared plus x squared equals 4 squared to find the height of 3.5. And then we can put that into our area equation to solve for the area of the triangle. It's 2 bases, so there's 2 areas for the triangle, 2 triangles. It's 14. And then there's 3 rectangles that are 7 by 4. And then 28 times 3 is 84 because there's 3 rectangles. Add those together to get the total surface area. And then volume is the area of your base times the distance between the 2 bases, also called the height. Okay. Number 5, we said don't worry about number 5. It's also good because I finished right on time.